Hi, we're exploring co-working, and I'm here with Ping Wang from the Answer Innovation Center. So welcome.
Thank you.
And thanks for your thoughts on co-working. So you obviously have a co-working center that you started. It's kind of unique. We'll talk about that. Where did that journey start from you? How did you get from what you were doing before to co-working?
Absolutely. So I was in the Bay Area previously, and there are a lot of co-working centers there at the time. This was in the mid-2000s, and I was always interested in entrepreneurship. So when I came back to San Diego, I wanted A, to start my own company, and B, I wanted to have a community to be with. And at the time, this is 2009, 2010, there weren't that many co-working centers. There were small little hubs that people got together, but there wasn't really something that was specifically focused for startups, for technologists, etc. So I had access to this second floor sort of attic space. It was sort of run down, we couldn't rent it out. So we decided to turn it into a co-working center, some friends of mine and myself. And we just went off with it. We wanted to do our own things, do our own projects, but we also wanted to share the space with other community members, split the costs, and that was the spirit of the co-working, is not only to make an affordable place for people to come to, but also to create community. We decided to call it Answer because that was Mandarin for world harmony. It was a sort of a world play. There were a lot of people from different countries coming in and out. It was also located in the middle of sort of Asia Town or Chinatown in San Diego as well. So it was really nice, convenient. You could walk to all these restaurants, more than a couple dozen restaurants. So every day you could go to a different place. So it was just a really nice place to kind of start off with. That's
so if I'm hearing you correctly, you wanted a place you could work for yourself that had community, that had lots of good Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese, Filipino food around there.
Yeah, that's important, right? I think just your environs and where you are, right? So it was really cheap food. It was good for entrepreneurs. It was highly accessible. It's in the middle of San Diego, and we had access to the space. And there weren't any other co-working spaces that were suitable for us, that were as affordable. And in actuality, we became the first startup-focused co-working center in San Diego, and now the longest lasting actually since 2010.
And so who did you initially attract, and who do you attract now? Is it the same people, or has it changed?
Yeah, some of our first ones were companies that were coming out of UCSD because the UTC area is fairly expensive, and so startups coming out of there can't afford that area, the La Jolla area. So the next best destination was kind of Kearny Mesa, and it was an industrial area. And like I said, the food is authentic, it's cheap, etc. So we had a lot of folks come from UCSD. We had more and more meetups. We were one of the big meetup hubs of San Diego. We had more than probably half a dozen to a dozen at any point in time, like throughout the weeks or months that were just constantly rotating through. We also hosted one of the first startup weekends ever in San Diego there at the center. And so we've had multiple events. It's become sort of a hub of various events. And since then, of course, San Diego has had many more co-working centers and event centers pop up as well. So we're happy to see that grow around us, the ecosystem kind of filling in.
And so what's the biggest challenge you've had setting up a center and running a center?
Well, I mean, we hadn't done something like that before. So obviously there are a lot of moving parts. You've got these memberships coming in, and to kind of chase after people and say, hey, this is a group community event, and some people come, some people go, and sort of just keeping track of people is like herding sheep, right? I also think that because we are sort of a value-oriented, we wanted to keep costs affordable to everyone. Like I said, we were on a second floor of the building, so accessibility wasn't great, parking wasn't great. The facilities were, like I said, it was a converted sort of storage shed type of thing. So we had lots of challenges with the physical facility, et cetera, just keeping it going. So that ended up taking a bit of time just to sort all those systems out. Now it's a lot more stable, but I think hopefully people have enjoyed it as it's gone on. And actually, we're thinking about moving locations in the near future as well to bigger and better facilities.
Well, so I personally worked out of Answer Center sometimes too, so I'm familiar. So what is the best thing any of your customers ever told you? What made you the happiest or the proudest?
Well, we've seen so many companies go through and grow up and then move on to other places. So it's not about having people stay there forever. It's about a place to get started, right? So Lockbit, one of the companies you're familiar with, Machine Perception Technologies Lab, which later became Emotion, was acquired by Apple. We've had Anacom, which turned into Guru and Spin Out, and then they've gone on and done successful things. So we've seen all these companies kind of progress through the center, and that's just really satisfying, reaffirming. And they always come back and they say, you know, a lot of this wouldn't be possible without the community and the affordability and just sort of the gathering places that you've enabled by creating a co-working center. So that's been ultimately extremely satisfying.
So the last question. We're sitting there having some tea and some great food by your place,
Yeah.
or wherever your new location's great
Sure.
food is. And let's say you're looking back 3 years from now, and I say, what are you most proud of? You know, where's the market going? What are you most proud of? What do you think your answer is going to be in 1 to 3 years?
So I think in looking towards the future, I think the idea that we started a phenomenon as well. I mean, not ourselves, but I mean this idea of co-working has been around, and we've proved it in different places, even outside of downtown, where you have extreme high density. So I like where the ecosystem of San Diego is going. Things like Startup Week, where we're at here, with more co-working centers, with in fact incubators and accelerators, with things like Evo, Nexus as well. These sorts of things are just filling out the entire ecosystem for entrepreneurs, no matter what stage they're at, to fulfill their needs. So one of the things I'm also involved in are incubators and accelerators. So co-working is joint open memberships. Anyone can come in. They pay a little bit of membership to split the cost. Incubators are a little bit more like free space that are selected, a select few companies. You provide them as a help, and sometimes there's some equity exchange. Accelerators are a different level. So for Techstars, for example, I helped out with the Qualcomm Robotics Accelerator last year, and this year also helping out with Techstars IoT, which is another accelerator program, this one in New York. So just being part of that global interconnected family of programs and activities, and things like accelerators, where it's an intensive sort of boot camp experience, 3-month experience, but also with funding attached and extreme sort of mentorship, one-on-one mentorship. Those sorts of things, I think, are ultimately what's great about this evolving ecosystem that we're bringing here to San Diego.
So you expect the trend to continue, but getting tired, more integration between not only places work, but getting them started and getting them moved out faster.
Exactly. More value added, more than just, I think the community part is getting filled in, but now with funding, with mentorship, with technology, with guidance, advisory, with interconnections to the world, all these sorts of things are coming together in one great package for entrepreneurs. So it's an exciting time to be here in San Diego.
Well, thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you
for coming here, and thank you for watching.
Thanks.